Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspiring Chaos. If you do not know who I am, hi, my name is Eunice. I'm the host and founder of this amazing and extraordinary community, and welcome to another episode. As you may tell, I am very excited for this week's guest because we have the amazing, the extraordinary, the inspiring, the incredible Alex. Alex is an uprising director and screenwriter, and her first film actually formed part of the Newport Beach Film Festival. And we talked all about her journey of being a woman in the film industry and the process and her story, basically, her inspiring story of success. And I felt so honored that she decided, or she said yes, in forming part of this season, part of the podcast, because I truly admire her so much. And I know for sure this is only the beginning of her in her career, because I mean, her creativity, her passion, her love transmitted through the interview. And I know for sure she will continue to change the industry. She does mention behind the scenes that most of her crew were women, and that was amazing to talk to her about that. And it was an honor to have her, privilege, and I just can't wait for you to hear her story. But before that, she does give her social media at the end, so stay tuned for a whole thing and follow her because she absolutely deserves it. And also follow us if you'd like to at Inspiring Chaos _podcast, where you get updates about anything and everything. And yeah, that is enough for the intro. I honestly just want you guys to hear her story because it is absolutely inspiring and incredible. So now let's go on here and Alex's inspiring story of success. For today's guest, we have Alex LoCascio. She's currently attending Cal State Fullerton, majoring in cinema and television arts. Her dream job is to become a director and a screenwriter. Hi, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So, firstly, congrats on your launch of your new film.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
your film formed part of the Newport Beach Film Festival,
Yes.
and that's amazing. What inspires you to create your own film?
Yeah, so I have always had a dream of being a filmmaker and coming out of kind of like a COVID rut,
Mm.
I was really creatively stunted and I had the opportunity to write a short film for a class at Cal State Fullerton. It's production two, so it's specifically for cinema and television arts majors where you can kind of pitch a script that you wrote, and if it gets chosen then you get funding and you can make the film throughout like a semester. So me and my friend wrote Sonder, and it was chosen. We got funding and we got to create it over spring 2022, this past semester, and it was great. And we just premiered it at the Newport Beach Film Festival, which is a dream.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was so lovely. And I was very fortunate that this is the project that brought me out of like COVID. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. What has been the biggest challenge in facing when you created your own film?
The biggest challenge, I was very fortunate that the cast and crew that I had, you know, understood that I was a first time filmmaker, and they weren't very hard on me with not understanding things, and they taught me a lot. Um, and I think there was no drama or anything. We all got along really well, and we're all best friends now. But I think the hardest part was probably time management
Mm.
in like a filmmaking setting. It's so hard to like keep track of time, especially when you have a location for a set amount of hours. Um, it's really easy to get behind and, want to film more. Because if you don't get one shot right, you're like, well, let's do it again. But sometimes you don't have time to do that. And it costs money to go
Yeah.
overtime. So it's a huge thing keeping track of time.
Yeah, I mean, you're currently going to school, you're working as well, and then
Mhm.
you're also working on your own projects on the side. How do you manage to do all that?
I don't. um, yeah, I when I was filming Sonder in the spring, I did have to drop a class just because it was way more time consuming than I thought it would be.
Mhm.
And I mean, yeah, honestly, I don't really have time to relax because I'm just like go, 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 but I love it. And in my free time I want to like create, I want to write and like um then I'm at school or work, and I just squeeze the time in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really take breaks.
Working towards your dream is a very challenging process. Who or what inspires you to continue working towards your goals and dreams?
I think I think my family definitely. My brother Chris is a huge part of why I like pursued film. He's also like a huge film buff, but he's not in the business. He's like in law school right now. But he was like one of the main pushes for me and in choosing film school. And he's always been like, you know, his motto is step up. And so it's like whenever I think like I can't do something, I'm like, just step up, like you can do it if you believe in yourself and you have somebody that believes in you. So like just give it a shot. So Chris has been a huge motivator and just like my family. And I don't know. I think just having like the dream inside my head, I'm like, I have something I'm working towards. So I'm a huge motivator for myself. I'm probably the biggest motivator, but yeah, just like having a goal and like not giving up. I feel like, did I answer that question?
Yeah. uh, who is someone you look up to in your field?
There's so many people. I actually just met one of my favorite directors a couple days ago. Luca Guadagnino. He directed Call Me by Your Name and then the new film Bones and All that's coming out soon. Um, he's a huge inspiration to me. He's an Italian filmmaker. Um, I think just the way he creates is so beautiful and it's very like I don't know. It's he doesn't use a lot of like modern aspects in his film. It
Mm.
feels all very natural. He doesn't really use many like um phones or like I don't know, high tech things. It's all very like countryside, like beautiful art, like I don't know how to explain it, but he's a huge inspiration to me in the style of filmmaking that he does. But I also love like Greta Gerwig. She's awesome. I love all of her filmmaking. Um, Florence Pugh, I love her so much. I don't know. There's so many people I could go on and on, but yeah.
Yeah. What attracted you to become a director and a screenwriter?
So in high school, I got into film my freshman year. I was accidentally put in a filmmaking class or like a film production class when I signed up for photography. And I just decided to stick with it. And our first project in that class, I like immediately like took control of everything and like just happened to know what I was doing. And so I just figured out that that was kind of my niche. And then after that, like I've always liked creating stories and I'm pretty good at writing. So I just kind of combined them and started writing stories. And yeah, I feel like being a storyteller has always been in my path.
Yeah.
And this was just the way that I decided to express it.
Yeah. Before you decided to get into the film industry, was there another career you were interested in?
Yeah, actually, I when I was in high school, my two like paths was either film school or medical school, which are completely opposite.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did not go to medical school. But honestly, I was very naive in high school, and I think Grey's Anatomy was why I wanted to go to medical school. So I'm very glad I didn't go that route because I am not good at science, and I probably would not be the best in that field. But yeah, it was that.
What advice would you give anyone who's interested in working in the film industry?
Ooh, um, well, because I'm not in the film industry yet, I would say I would probably use the same advice I tell myself, like everyone's in the same boat. Like it's not easy to get there. I think making connections is the biggest thing. In the past couple years of being at Cal State Fullerton, that's what's gotten me to be able to make this past film and prepare for the next one I'm doing is just trusting the people you work with and making connections because they have connections, and it's just
Mhm.
kind of like a big spider web that like comes out of meeting people and just um going into things like with passion and showing that you're dedicated, and people will see that and they'll want to work with you. So making connections, find a friend that also likes to make films and stick with them for a little while, and you'll form like a crew. And that's kind of what I've been that's my little spiel about that.
Yeah. What do you think is a skill that has helped you become successful?
um Skill, I think being like respectful toward everyone. You do in this industry, you do work with people that, might be a little hard-headed and want to take control. And I think you just have to go about that in a way that's respectful and like let them know that, you know, that is not how we do things here. Everyone needs to like be respectful of one another and understand that everybody is kind of in the same boat. Um, and just like whenever you meet someone, you have to be respectful, and like if they kind of express something that doesn't align with you, you just have to like let them say it and walk away.
Yeah. What advice would you give your younger self?
um Probably don't don't be so negative about the future. um it's so unpredictable. I think when I was growing up, I was like, how am I going to do this? Like
Mm.
the chances of making it are so low. But if you have that mindset, it's not going to happen. Like you kind of have to fake it till you make it. So, I had like a switch over COVID where I was like, you know what? Like if I come out of this with that mindset, I'm not going to go anywhere, and I'm not going to want to do things. I'm not going to want to create anything. So I put on my game face and I was like, I'm just going to do it, and we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, I guess faking it till you make it is a great motto. I do have to say.
Yeah. For the final question, I wanted to ask you, how would you like to be remembered?
Oh my God. um, I would like to be remembered um, for being able to kind of express things through my art that are hard to show, and that
Mm.
like people can relate to on another level and appreciate. Um, yeah, I'd like to be known for my art and just being kind and compassionate and creative. Um, yeah, that's a hard question.
Thank you so much. I will love you could share your social media with all of us.
Yes, so my Instagram is just my first and last name, Alex LoCascio. My last name is LoCascio. Um, I don't really use Twitter, but it's the same handle. Um, that's pretty much
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
You have reached the end of the episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you got inspired by Alex's story because I surely did when I got to interview her. Now, everyone go follow her right now because she absolutely deserves it. Also, follow us if you'd like to. And yeah, that is all for this week's episode. I hope you have an amazing start of the week and talk to you all next time. Bye.